Hello? Can anybody hear me? I really need to get like an entrance song. But I guess I should focus more on getting my life together first. How is everyone doing today? I hope everyone's well. I'm kind of okay. You can probably tell I'm not my quite peppy self. So, yeah, I moved this one up because I need to get going on getting some of these streams going because I'm not doing as good as I should be doing. And now that I have no job, I have all the time in the world. So I'll just give the algorithm a little time to notify people because we know how it likes. I'm trying to feel better, India. I'm just like super irritated because like I lost my job and I'm depending on my unemployment to kick in until I can find another job. And I've had like 2 interviews, and then my unemployment letter came in the mail. I filed it on Sunday, the day that I got let go. And I got an email saying that my unemployment letter was going to be in the mail Thursday. Friday. The post office scanned it, said it was going to be delivered Friday. Not there. Only my mail was not there. So I put a note up saying I need this letter. And then the mail that was supposed to be delivered to me today was not there, but my roommate's was. So I'm extremely irritated. Hi, Paul, Enchanted, Leanne, everyone. So I'm just like super like at the end of my rope here. Little tad bit stressed. Because like, I don't know. I don't have savings. So like, I mean, I need to get a job. I can't be on unemployment. And the fact that I only have like $600 something to last me until who knows. But now the thing is if I don't, in Illinois, if you don't have your unemployment letter, you can't call or figure out when your appointment is or certify or do anything. You need that letter. And to even call to get another one sent out is going to be like 5 to 6 hours on hold with an appointment. So I'm highly upset. Highly upset. Anyways, let's get started. Thank you. Yeah, I just got a cut yesterday. It was way cheaper than I thought, thank goodness. Way cheaper than I thought. So does anybody know anything about Anna Nicole Smith? I'm sure everyone knows who she is, I would assume. Put a 1 in the chat if everybody knows who she is. 1 in the chat if we know who Anna Nicole Smith is. Good. So Anna Nicole Smith was somebody, I know people are like, why are you doing something that was on a Playmate? Blah, 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 blah. Well, it's Tragic Beauties. And another conversation that I kind of want to start is like, yeah, she might have done some unsavory things in some of our like opinions that would be unsavory. And she did do stuff that was kind of like train wreckish, but we need to stop looking at that stuff as like entertainment to see people have a train wreck lifestyle and be more compassionate and want to help people instead of trying to pawn that stuff off as entertainment. Yes. So this one's just going to be a lot of pictures. So Anna Nicole Smith, she was born in November 1967 in Houston, Texas, to her mother, Vicki Lynn Hogan, and her father, Donald Hogan, who ended up leaving the picture. Her mother was 16 when she had Vicki, which was Virgie was her mother's name. I'm sorry. Virgie was Anna's mother's name. Her name before she was famous was Vicki Lynn Hogan. So her mother was only 16 when she had her, and she actually ended up being the sheriff of the town that they lived in. And she was very strict. Her biological dad, Donald, ended up bouncing out of the picture. And she didn't have a very happy childhood. I couldn't find any written accounts of it, but a lot of people that were close to, I'll call her Vicki until we get to the fame part. Vicki said that she complained a lot about sexual and physical abuse, and that she would cry about it a lot and be very upset. So she also had very low self-esteem and was bullied a lot. She thought that she was unattractive and ugly, so that led more to her problems with her image and her overall mental health. So there isn't a lot of information about the abuse. It was just really close friends of Anna said that she would tell stories about it and it seemed genuine and that they believed the stories from her. So, um, well, to get away from the abuse, she ended up getting sent to live in a town called Mahia, Texas, which I guess is like the smallest of small towns. There was really nothing to do there. She moved there around the 10th grade and moved in with her Aunt Kay and her cousin, and they lived in a pretty dumpy 2-bedroom house. There wasn't a lot to do there. So she ended up moving in with one of her best friends, Joe McLemore. So unfortunately, she moved there to get a better life, but she was being bullied more in high school about her looks, and she just kept getting more depressed and down. So she ended up dropping out of high school in the 10th grade. Joe and them went to go pick her up, and that was her last day of school. She left and ended up getting a job at something called, what is it? Jim's. Whoa, what was the name of the restaurant? Jim's Crispy Fried Chicken with her friend Joe. And there, she ended up meeting her first husband, and whose name was Billy Smith. And this is pictures of Vicky and Billy Smith. They got married when she was 17 and he was 16 years old. And they ended up giving birth to their first kid at 18, which was Daniel. So I don't know about you guys. I could not imagine trying to care for a child at 18. I got pregnant when I was 19, almost 20, and then I had my baby at 20, and that was hard enough having somebody that was bringing in a lot of money. I couldn't imagine having no education, having that sad upbringing, and then having a husband that's like no high school education as well. They were both high school dropouts and trying to raise a kid. I could not imagine the stress. And then the picture here on the right-hand side is them at their wedding. So it wasn't some big shindig. They just kind of looks like they're getting married in the living room, to be honest. So after their arrival of their son, Daniel, this is pictures of Virgie, her mom, Daniel, and the baby. Vicky was ecstatic to be a mom. Every interview that you see about her where she talks about her son Daniel, she just absolutely lights up. He's like the love of her life. And she said that she wanted to have a baby because she wanted somebody that would love her unconditionally, something to fill that void, which is a bad thing to say. But she said that like the love of her and Daniel was unconditional. They loved each other and they were always there for each other. And they were kind of like partners in crime. So they had a really close relationship. And eventually, though, things between Billy and Vicky didn't work out. They were kind of struggling a bit. So Anna, I think it was what age? In 1986, she ended up moving back to Houston with her mother, Virgie. And she worked at various jobs like Walmart and Red Lobster. And those jobs just weren't paying the bills. She really wanted to be a good mom and give Daniel the life that she didn't have. But she just wasn't making that money. We're talking about in the 80s. So if you think we're getting paid low now, imagine what 80s, 90s income was in terms of like tips or Walmart. So she decided one day, she kept driving past in Houston, and there was a lot of strip clubs. And she remembers seeing this one club that had a sign that was like really appealing to her. So she dropped in because she wanted to apply for a waitressing job. And she ended up getting a job stripping, but she didn't know that she had to do it nude. She was kind of very, like I said before, she didn't have big boobs. I never knew. She was like flat chested, which isn't a problem, but she was flat chested. She was really insecure about everything. She was 5'11", a lot bigger in terms of being tall than the other women. She was very nervous to strip. Her first night of actually dancing, she actually ran out of there. She was mortified. But then in one interview, she said that on the way back, she had $50, and that was a lot of money for her. So she decided to just keep dancing. Her mother was very strict. She was a sheriff. So her mother would actually stop down there one day and told the owner that if you don't have my daughter come down from there, I'm going to be in here every night. But she decided to keep going because at that time, she ended up living with one of the dancers that worked there. Her friends, they ended up living together, and Daniel ended up living with Virgie, her mother, and she wanted to raise and live with Daniel, so she decided to save up money and get breast implants, and that ended up making her one of the biggest earners at the club. And that's where her life changed. Because in 1991, when she was dancing for about 4 years, she ended up meeting J. Howard Marshall II, who wasn't just any regular old man. He was a billionaire oil tycoon who worked for the Roosevelt administration and also the Koch brothers. So he inherited billions from the oil business. And he was sad when he went into the strip club that night and met Vicky because his wife was dying from Alzheimer's, and he had a mistress of 10 years that was a little bit more closer to her age, because at this time there's a 60-year age difference, okay? Because he's in his late 80s and she was only in her 20s. And his mistress was probably in her 50s or her 40s, and she just passed away actually from getting a facelift. She died on the operating table. Her name was Lady Walker. They had a really long relationship, but they never had a sexual relationship, which is something I want to point out that's important here, because that kind of is what happens when those two meet in the future. So that's a part of relevant information that we're going to have here. I'm going to look in the chat. Hello, everyone. Sorry. I just keep on talking and talking and talking, which I guess is good, because that means I know what I'm talking about. So before I show you pictures, I'm going to show this video. This video that we're going to be watching as, I don't know how you would say this. The link is down in the description for the entire documentary, but it's from ABC, and I'm going to stop and play, just because that stupid copyright thing. So I don't know how it works, but it works, and it's been working pretty well. So I'm going to start. It's going to talk about, okay, before I go down this thing, her and the billionaire tycoon ended up having a relationship. I know what you guys are saying. Gold digger. We can talk to gold digger all we want. And who knows, maybe that's what it was. But the way that they have the relationship and they kind of mesh together, it was like a different type of love. Like in another interview, she said it wasn't sexual. She wasn't attracted to him sexually, but he treated and respected her. She loved listening and spending time, and that can be a form of love. He just happened to have a lot of money. And I'm sorry, you know, if a man right now that was 90 years old walked up to me and asked me to marry him and be his girlfriend, would I do it? Probably so, just because I only have $600 to my name. That doesn't make me a bad person. If I make somebody happy and they make me happy, it's nobody else's effing business. So let's watch a little bit of this clip about the relationship. I will stop and go. Let me know in the chat if you can hear it. I'm going to mute my mic so there's not a... How come there's no sound? The last time I did this, you guys said that if I had my mic on, there was no sound. There was an echo. Now I need to figure out my life. Can you guys at least hear me? Thanks, Leanne. I can definitely use this. Okay. If there's an echo, guys, I don't know what to tell you. Okay. Because before you guys said, well, we could just start right here, to be honest. I went a little too far.
Goes into Gigi's one lunchtime and sees this 24-year-old blonde dancer in front of him. His heart is taken.
He had no will to live, and I went over to see him, and he got a little twinkle in his eyes, and he asked me to dance for him, and I did. He was very funny, really funny. He got very brilliant, very smart. Gosh, he had so many stories. I mean, just Oh, he was an amazing man.
Sorry, I'm going to stop and go.
It's really amazing.
From the very first time she met Howard, she thought of him as a grandfather figure. And once we met Howard, I mean, you thought the same way. Very likable man, very knowledgeable, very smart.
They would phone call every day and talk to each other. And they were so cute on the phone. She would call him Sugar Bugger and Sweetheart and all that. And they needed each other in more of a sense than people understood. And so they just took care of each other.
See, I would think that if somebody was truly just doing it all for the money, like it seems like the way that they're acting around each other is very organic to me. Like when they said more of like a grandfather relationship, like I feel like they had some type of connection that maybe we couldn't understand. Maybe it wasn't the way that we all thought it was for, but I think there was a good connection there.
Marshall had 2 sons, and the son he was closest to was Pierce Marshall, who was this very upright, waspy, proper person. I think Anna Nicole would have just sent him screaming from the room.
Pierce wants to put an end to it right away. But J. Howard Marshall II tells his son Pierce, she makes me enjoy life again. But ours.
So within a week of meeting Vicky, Marshall proposes marriage. She says no, because she's determined to make something of herself on her own.
So what J. Howard Marshall doesn't know is that Vicky is in love with someone else. And in this case, it's a woman.
Oh yeah, I learned so much stuff. I watched so many documentaries on her. So yeah, she seems like she was a really sweet soul. And I feel like I said, I don't know, do you guys feel like she absolutely, like that there was some type of connection there that maybe we're just not getting? So I feel like there kind of was. Oh no, where'd my PowerPoint presentation go? I don't know where it went. I failed. I failed. My PowerPoint presentation just disappeared. This is just... Okay, well. Hold on, guys. If I disappear, my Chrome is kind of spazzing out. So what are your guys' opinions on that relationship? I want to hear everyone in the chat. I mean, if you're that old, like, they seemed like they were happy together. They seemed like they enjoyed spending time together. And at the end of the day, isn't that really what living is all about? Enjoying your time. Who cares how old somebody is as long as they're of age, if you know what I mean? Obviously, they were both of age. Oh my God, I got to get to my presentation. It's not working. Please tell me that this is just not, it's not letting me type it all now. That's great. Well, isn't this just flippin' fantastic? 1 second, guys. Technical difficulties. Okay. I think, hold on. Let me try to fix my keyboard real quick. My keyboard stopped typing. On spot, except my keyboard stopped typing. Oh, shit. Okay. And we're back. Oh, shit. That would have been an absolutely horrendous website to open it on. You guys would have just found out a little bit more about my bedroom life than you anticipated. Okay, yeah. So, I mean, I've had sugar daddies before. I was actually just, my memories say, I had one that paid for some of my college. Now I'm too old for sugar daddy. I only qualify for artificial sweetener daddy because I'm old. And I am like a cougar MILF now. I guess that is where we're at in life, but that's okay. Yeah, if Talana, exactly. If they were happy, doesn't matter. But if we can learn anything from this story is if you're going to date somebody with a lot of money, make sure you're in the will, or at least make sure they don't have kids. I think that Anna Nicole taught us anything. That's some important points. So let me share this. Also, just in case you want to, yeah, I only qualify for artificial sweetener daddy. I put on like 100 pounds since then. I get like a sweet and low daddy. I don't even get a real sugar daddy anymore. Just a sweet and low. Donations aren't expected but appreciated because I am officially going like getting close to broke. But that's all right. They're all in my justecho.com. Where is share screen? I'm like trying to imagine what my kids are doing out there right now. Okay. So these are pictures of Anna Nicole and Howard Marshall. It turns out that I watched her on Larry King. They never had sex. There was nothing sexual there. At least I don't think. She said something about not having sex. She said that she wasn't sexually attracted to him. So I don't know if they actually had sex, is what I'm going to say. But she said that they had a different type of love that was deeper than that. So there's some pictures of them on Christmas. I guess he said that she said that he really respected her, that he loved her son, that they spent all the time together. He ended up buying her own ranch, giving her about $12 million total. And he lived in Texas and Anna lived in LA, and he would constantly go back and forth between the two states to visit her. So they ended up getting married. I think it was it in 1991? This is where, see, I like write these notes and I'm like, I'm totally going to be able to read this, guys. And then I'm like, I totally didn't know what I was talking about. We'll talk about the death later. So anyways, besides that, this is some of her Playboy covers. I'll just kind of tell the story and show pictures. I don't want to go by the timeline. So anyways, Anna Nicole ends up getting popularity. She ends up getting Playmate of the Year in Playboy in 1993. She ends up being in a few movies, which I didn't know. What was it? There was the one movie, Hudsucker Proxy. She was in Naked Gun 33 1/3. She was known for being over the top, voluptuous. She was really catching people's eyes because before a lot of the Playboy, she actually did modeling campaigns for H&M in Norway and in Sweden. And they actually had to talk to the government about taking her billboards down because they were seen as a public hazard because there were so many car accidents when she was sitting there in the bras and the underwear that they said that it was a public hazard. But she was a lot different than other models of the time. If you think about it, it was like the really heroin chic was the kind of model type that was in at the time, like that really sunken in, very thin look, like Kate Moss was popular. And she was more of like the Marilyn Monroe voluptuous curvy girl of her time. So she was kind of like, she was going against the grain in terms of what was beautiful. And I think that's what was very captivating about her. So she ended up getting in Playboy, and from her Playboy ad, she got the attention of the guy that did Guess Jeans. Let's see. So this is the Guess Marciano ads, and she really looks like Marilyn Monroe to me there. This is her from Naked Gun 33 1/3. She was overall a very gorgeous woman. But with beauty, there's a price. She had terrible back pains, I guess, because her back couldn't support her breasts after the augmentation. So she was taking painkillers daily for that and migraines and insomnia, Xanax. So she started taking it regularly. And it's really sad if you watch interviews for her because she ended up mixing that medication accidentally and she overdosed once. And she's like, this is medicine I take every day. I don't get high off of it. This isn't a street drug. What do you mean I have a problem? And that's kind of where people get caught up and they don't know. She looks so gorgeous here. So I'm going to talk a little bit about more about J. Howard Marshall. He ended up passing away after they got married. Not too long after they got married, he ended up passing away. He was worth $1 billion. So being his wife, Anna said I should get half of it. But the problem is that J. Howard Marshall did not put Anna in the will. Her son said, you know what? He gave you $12 million. That should last any normal person at least a lifetime. But unfortunately, Anna spent through all of it. And without any of the money, he ended up taking away the ranch and everything. She ended up having to declare bankruptcy in the state of Texas. She actually, I wonder if it was California too. I'm not sure. This 2-state thing kind of messed with him. But she had nothing besides what she was bringing in herself. They ended up going to court. In the state of California, they awarded her half of his fortune. But his son started a lawsuit down in Texas, and they said absolutely not. He would have put you in his will. You don't get anything. You've had enough. And the trial was quite tragic to watch. But Anna was not happy with that. And what's interesting, she actually took the case to the Supreme Court twice. They said that she gets half of the money. And the court case technically can still go on. They're actually doing it today because both of the sons now are dead. And Anna Nicole Smith won the Supreme Court case that she gets half the money. The sons kept appealing. So she never saw a dime of that money. And she actually has a daughter now that I think is 14, maybe. And they're actually going to court to see if she gets any money, because now that the sons are dead and there's nobody to give it to, they're like, well, if the Supreme Court said that Anna could have had it when she was alive, then it should go to the daughter then. Oh, yeah, I got lots of pictures of the daughter. So she ended up doing more modeling and whatnot. But then her life started taking a spin out of control. I think I put the videos in wrong. Yeah, this was actually supposed to go before that. So forget that. So she ended up getting a little bit too much into drugs. She ended up gaining a lot of weight. She became very depressed again. Life just wasn't going quite as she wanted it to. She did end up modeling for like Lane Bryant and stuff, and actually being the face of Trim Spa. So have you guys ever seen those ads where she's like, Trim Spa, baby? I actually bought those pills because of that ad. I'm not going to lie to you. She had a reality show called the Anna Nicole Show. She just was not faring very well. This is a picture of where she was really drugged out and people were making comments and laughing at her. I actually have a video, I think it was in 2004 at the American Music Award, the Billboard Awards. You could tell just by like the way she's speaking that she's not well. You can tell. I don't know if you can hear it. She lost the weight again. So she ended up putting her life back together, but she ended up going downhill with the drugs.
Like my body. I was honored to be on our next performer's new video.
Kanye West was who she was in the video
for
for.
an album. I want this guy to produce make me beautiful duets. Cause he's freaking genius.
So you could tell that she is not there completely. So she started going downhill with the drugs very quick. Yeah, I remember that. She was actually in a Kanye West music video when he started out. So that's the music video I think she's referring to. But she gained a lot of weight, ended up doing a lot of drugs, losing a lot of weight. And it seemed like she was starting to get it back together. But it's just really sad to me. This is the point I make of the conversation. When we see a person like that, we shouldn't criticize somebody like that. At the end of the day, we're all human beings. We're all equal. So the fact that that was seen as entertainment, dragging people through the mud because they have an addiction issue, nobody wakes up one day and says, you know what? I want to give away this, acting career, modeling career. I just want to give it all away and get addicted to drugs and possibly die. That's not somebody's goal. Like, they don't write that on career day in elementary school. Yeah, they were prescription. So I think that we need to like have a little bit of compassion to an extent, because there is a point where you have to let people go with that. And yeah, she does look like Britney, and we need to kind of like help people. So the fact that we coined them as entertainment, and instead of helping people, we use them as the butt of every late night joke, I think is kind of sickening, because people are people. So here, this is Howard Stern. This was Anna Nicole's best friend / lawyer that was helping her in the case to get Howard J. Marshall's money. And this is a photographer named Larry Burkhead. At this time, during this whole period, they were actually dating. And even though Anna was over the top and always out with her lifestyle, they had a very serious relationship. And it was kind of on the rocks back and forth. And if you look at a lot of pictures of Anna Nicole Smith during the time, you'll see Larry Burkhead in the background of those pictures. Larry Burkhead's a blonde guy. I thought I was pointing at. So Larry Burkhead, lawyer / best friend. So if you look at a lot of pictures of Anna Nicole Smith back in the early 2000s, you'll see Larry Burkhead carrying around a camera. He didn't want to be famous or anything. She wanted to keep the relationship private. But she ended up being seen a lot with Howard Stern a lot. And then she ended up getting pregnant in 2006 and delivering in 2007, I think it was, with a baby girl. And a baby girl was something that Anna always wanted. Her friends, if you watch her biographies, said that, and even Larry Burkhead said that she would collect girls' clothing of all sizes. Anytime she did a campaign, anywhere she traveled, she would collect girls' clothes because it was her dream to have a baby girl. And she ended up getting pregnant and moving to the Bahamas because her and Larry Burkhead had a fight. And she told Larry Burkhead that it was his baby, but they had a fight and broke up. So she took pregnant Anna, moved down to the Bahamas and stayed there and wouldn't let Larry anywhere around her. And this is a picture of when she had the baby. And this is her son, Daniel. And I should have taken better notes. So I can't cry because there's nothing sad to talk about right now, because I usually cry when I forget something. Okay, 1 second. Annie Lynn Smith is 14 years old. She was born on September 7th, 2006. She was born in 2006. My mistake. So she was born September 7th, 2006 in the Bahamas. Larry Burkhead got to watch the birth of his child on an entertainment news channel because Anna didn't tell him that she was going into labor. And she got to watch the C-section, somebody hold the baby for the first time on TV along with the rest of the world. So he was really upset about that. And when he went to go see the baby, Anna was like, guess what? It's not your baby. It's Howard Stern's baby. And she even put the baby's name, Danny Lynn was the baby's name, put it with Howard's last name on the birth certificate. And it gets crazier from there. So let me show some pictures. So it turns out that the baby, there was a huge court battle, but we'll get to that in a minute. So right after Anna has the baby, Daniel, her son, comes down to the Bahamas to see his little sister and see his mom. When he's there spending the night, he fell asleep in a chair and he didn't wake up because Daniel died of a drug overdose at 20 in the delivery, like the hospital where she was still, it hasn't even left yet because she had the baby sister. So this picture, I think, was taken before the picture I showed before with all three of them. Let me go back. This picture was taken like the day before he passed away. So she was still getting over having birth, and her son, the light of her life, dies in the hospital room, and Anna finds him. Anna was completely distraught at the funeral. She tried to crawl into the casket with her son, saying that she couldn't live without him. She was in unimaginable grief. And Larry Burkhead was worried this entire time. Can she take care of the baby? Can she take care of the baby? Anna still not let him see the baby. And that's when Anna said, you know what? It's Howard's baby. It's not your baby. And Larry was like, you told me it was. We're going to court. So then started the court battle to figure out who was the father of Danny Lane. And I don't know if anybody had a TV back then, but you guys remember that. So Howard ended up raising the baby with Anna for at least 5 months. And there was tons of court sessions and stuff about this. But before anything could be decided, Anna Nicole Smith ended up dying 5 months after the birth of Danny Lynn. She was found in a Hard Rock hotel room by her bodyguard and his wife, unconscious, and she ended up dying from a lethal mixture of 9 different prescription drugs. They said it was accidental, so like stuff that she was already prescribed, it just wasn't working well together. I don't know what they mean by accidental. If you take 9 drugs, how accidental can it be? That seems like it's a doctor problem prescribing you that many. But she ended up passing away at the age of 39 on February 8th, 2007. So I could not imagine. So this baby still doesn't have the official dad because the court cases are going on. So eventually they end up getting a paternity test, and it turns out that Larry Burkhead was right. He is the father. And him and Howard Stern end up burying the hatchet. Howard Stern actually showed him how to like put on Danielyn's diaper and everything. And this is some pictures of her growing up and stuff. And this is clothes that actually, these outfits are clothes that Anna actually picked out for her baby girl before she passed away. And this is actually Danny in a guest campaign. Larry Burkhead doesn't want any fame. He doesn't want any type of notoriety. He said he did love Anna and he wants Danny Lynn to remember her in a great way. So he's actually, they live in Louisville, Kentucky. He's a photographer and then he flips houses for his type of income. So Guest Jeans offered to let Danny Lynn do a spread like her mother did to kind of bring some closeness between mother and daughter. And that was the only modeling gig that Larry let Danny Lynn have. He said that a lot of people have reached out and he said, no, she's not doing that kind of stuff. And she doesn't have any interest in it. So she's just a regular 14-year-old that's trying to live her life and she doesn't want any type of fame. But she said that one day some kids from school told her she was one of the richest kids in the world, according to YouTube. And she went home and asked Larry about it. And Larry said, and asked Larry where the money was. And he's like, I don't know. I'm still looking for it. So she's a beautiful girl. So that's kind of the end of the story there. But she might end up getting some money because if they end up rehashing that court case, Danny Lynn could be on track to get a serious amount of cash. So I don't know what you guys think about her. I think Anna Nicole Smith was beautiful. I think it was really sad that she had such a crappy beginning. I think it's sad that women have to, feel like they have to sell their bodies in order to take care of their children. Yeah, Anna Nicole Smith was funny. Her show was funny. But it was like watching somebody go down like a hill with a bike with broken brakes. Like you knew it was going to crash. And you can't take your eyes off of it, but you can't stop it. Yeah, he's doing a really good job at raising her. She's gonna do good. Oh, so yeah, that's the story of Anna Nicole, what I got out of it. So I don't know what you guys think. Next, we're gonna look at Frances Farmer, my mom said, who is an actress that was forced to get a lobotomy. So we are gonna talk about her. Yeah, I think everybody used her at the end. I think it was really sad. Really sad. Such a short life, too. 39. That's only 5 years older than me. I'm going to post my thing again because all my socials are there and my donor links. Yada, yada, yada. My kids are probably dying to get in here right now. Also, the guy that designs these earrings, I forgot to mention, messaged me on Instagram and said he likes my new haircut. And when I get my new earrings, to take a picture and I'll put them on his Instagram. I love these earrings. Thank you, Ellis. Yeah, she was prescribed too many and the mix was lethal. Yeah, doctors need to be held accountable for that. Like one prescription med that I was taking told me not to take with this other prescription. And yeah, he was a jerk for sure. He was a clout chasing bitch. Yeah, but like one of the pills that my doctor prescribed me, it specifically said not to take with this type of pill. And I didn't take it. I was like, why would you prescribe me that? So I hope you guys enjoyed the story. Any comments, concerns, questions? Anything at all? I hope everybody is having a good weekend, though. I really do. I enjoy that I got to kind of talk about something and get my mind off of something for a little bit because I am kind of depressed. So I'm glad that I have everyone here and all of you guys here. So I really appreciate all of you. So, yeah, sometimes I just don't trust doctors. So, yeah. Well, thank you everybody for watching today. Again, donations aren't expected but appreciated. But yeah, I feel like I'm usually more peppy, but yeah, I hope she gets the money too. But I'm just like kind of in a really down mood. So this is as peppy as Aiko gets when she's sad. So yeah. I'm gonna get better soon though, so just one day at a time. One day at a time, I guess. And I get my hair cut just to put it out. Thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate everyone. It would be a lot darker days if I didn't have you guys. I know I'm trying not to be sad, especially because my kids are here. But like, I felt really bad because my daughter heard me talking on the phone about money to someone, and she gave me her piggy bank and dumped it all over the table and told me I could have it. That was nice of her. That was really nice of her. But yeah, this weekend we're going to do a lot of movie nights, and I'm going to read the Cannibal book, and everybody only really likes the Cannibal one anyways. We'll talk about dark shit, but we're going to watch some movies in the Discord all week next week because I don't have anything else to do with my life. So thank you guys for coming out. I love everyone. Have a good night, and thank you all for your comments. Bye. Love you.